What's up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 3 in the
12 days of Christmas horror.
Slaughtermas.
12 days of Christmas horror.
Why couldn't we call it Slaughtermas?
Because 12 days, we're doing it for 12 days, so like, doesn't it like make sense? Like, why would we be doing this for 12 days if we ain't gonna call it 12 days of the Christmas horror?
No, like, I mean 12 days
On the
of
12th day of
Slaughtermas.
On
the 12th day of Slaughtermas. It just has such a nice ring to it.
Sure, we can go with that.
Well, I already made the thumbnail now for the first day.
You already fucked up the title for the first one, so we might as well just keep screwing everything up, huh?
Alright, so today we are reviewing Silent Night,
Deadly Night.
1984.
Sure, yeah.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. This is a very interesting movie, right? So, what would you say the plot is?
After let me start over. After some traumatic events that happen to a young man, he goes berserk and dresses like Santa and goes on a murder spree.
Yeah, it's tragic events that happened to him when he was a child. Now he's a young man.
Yeah, and also growing up, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Just kind of sucks.
Silent Night, Deadly Night was originally released in 1984. Actually, on the same day as another very, very popular horror film. Do you know what that film was?
Was it Gremlins?
It was not Gremlins.
Wait, shh, don't tell me. Was it a horror Christmas film, you're saying?
No.
Or just a horror film?
Just a horror film.
Oh. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, correct. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Nightmare on Elm Street were released on the same weekend.
Woo.
And actually, Silent Night, Deadly Night won the box office weekend.
Damn.
It actually had a bigger opening than Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was quickly pulled from theaters before week 2.
Because of Santa killing?
Yeah, like depicting Santa carrying an axe on the cover, it was just like a huge no-no. Like there were all these protests and stuff like that. People were like outraged. And in fact, one of the people who was super outraged was actually somebody who ended up acting in part 5.
I know that. I don't know who it is though.
Yeah, he actually was outraged and like wrote a letter, and then he ended up starring in part 5.
I don't get how you could stoop that low. Be like, okay, I'm gonna be in this movie now, even though I made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, that is.
Like, I feel like that's the last thing I would star in after I like wrote a letter and shit.
Yeah. Other people who hated this movie were Siskel and Ebert. Like, they could not stand it. Two really famous reviewers who really just did despise this movie. I think this was the movie they actually gave out the phone number and like address of the people who made it and was like, shame on you.
Damn.
It's insane.
Coming up next at the movies, a film that dreams about a red Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring. All through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Our X-ray subject this week, the controversial Santa Claus killer movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Actually, there have been 2 controversies about Silent Night, Deadly Night. Even before the film was released a couple of weeks ago, its TV ad campaign caused a furor with its brief depiction of an axe-carrying Santa Claus. The distributor of this film, TriStar Pictures, which is co-owned by Columbia Pictures, CBS, and Home Box Office, pulled the commercial out of release after a week of protests by parents led by a Milwaukee group. Of course, commercials like that usually die out after a week anyway, so thanks a lot, fellas. But there's no question in my mind that the showing of Santa with an axe on free TV and commercials is sick and sleazy and mean-spirited. So let's repeat the names of the people who did it. TriStar Pictures, co-owned by Columbia Pictures, CBS, and Home Box Office. Shame on you. Now, as for the film, I've got news for you. It's worse than the TV ads. Telling a typical mad slasher story about a boy who witnesses his father being shot and his mother being stabbed to death by a maniac in a Santa Claus suit. So now the traumatized kid grows up and is asked to work in a toy store as Santa one Christmas, and it freaks him out. He impales one naked girl on a set of antlers, spears another woman with a bow and arrow, and another with a knife, and yes, we even see Santa give one little girl a bloody knife as a gift and threaten another little girl with physical punishment as he sits on his lap. You might think that it would be funny, Roger, or it's played as quite sick in the film. So let me repeat the names of the writer and director and producers of this film. Michael Hickey wrote the film, Charles E. Sellier Jr. directed it, and Ira Richard Barmack produced it. You people have nothing to be proud of, even if you made a few bucks off of all the negative publicity. Your profits truly are blood money. And Silent Night, Deadly Night now has the distinction of joining I Spit on Your Grave as one of the two most contemptible films I've seen. And I don't mean to think it's campy. It really is quite awful.
I'm glad you mentioned those people's names because quite frequently they think, gee, we'll make this exploitation film, we'll be able to buy our Mercedes and live in Bel Air and nobody will ever know what we did. But I would like to hear them explain to their children and their grandchildren that it's only a movie.
Yeah.
I think that would be a real interesting explanation.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was your first time watching Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yes, it was.
I actually watched all of the Silent Night, Deadly Nights a couple of years ago. I think in 2014.
Yeah.
And woof, boy, was that a hard task. I did a podcast on them, which I know you listened to that episode. But what was your kind of pre-impressions on Silent Night, Deadly Night before you actually watched it? Like, were you excited to see it? Like, what did you think about it?
I mean, I was excited to see it because I feel like people talk bad about the franchise in general, but they always say like, oh, the first one's really, really good though, actually.
What's that noise?
It's the heater kicking on right now conveniently.
Wait, you have heat in here?
Barely!
I was about to wear gloves tonight.
Dude, it's not, it just comes on when it wants though, so, you know.
Okay.
But anyway, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah, I was excited to see it because it's one I just never got around to seeing, and this was a good reason to watch it. So, yeah.
What did you think of it?
I liked it overall. You know, it's like kind of cheesy. Like, it's not like, you know, the plot's not as solid as like some other slashers maybe.
Like
but
Halloween.
yeah, like that's what comes to mind. Like, it's not like Halloween or anything like that. It's just like this dude just goes.
But it's a little
snaps.
bit deeper than like something like Mad Men.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
because it has a lot of like psychological elements to it about like this kid who's been like.
And I didn't realize it was gonna be like the kid. It was gonna show so much of the kid growing up too. I thought it was just gonna be about this dude dressed like Santa, like years after something bad happened, and he just kills people the whole movie. But like, there's actually a lot to do with his like childhood. So I was surprised.
Yeah, I actually never seen this movie growing up. It wasn't until 2014 that I actually seen it for the first time. And one thing that I took away from it that I noticed right away was whenever you see what happens to him as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, that scene with his grandfather is one of the best scenes ever in horror history.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year, boy. You see Santa Claus, you better run for your life.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
spooky?
it's like it's spooky, but to me
No, I
it
said,
was.
am I spooky?
Oh, you're not. No, you suck.
Really?
But, like,
I thought that was a pretty good performance.
Nobody. But anyway, like the grandpa scene, like it's like spooky, but at the same time it's kind of comical because this dude's just like sitting in a chair and like.
It just reminded me of like one of my grandfathers or something. Like,
your grandfather pretended to be catatonic for years and then
no,
you
like
came to see him.
my grandmother's dad.
Yeah.
So like my great grandfather,
Yeah.
like that reminded me of like something that he would have did, like as a
Yeah.
joke. But
Yeah,
he
I
was
get
really
that.
cool and funny and stuff. But it was just like, I don't know, like it just was kind of shocked. I was like, dude, when I first seen it, you know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck? Like that's a pretty messed up thing to do to a child.
Yeah, and then like the kid's like upset in the car later, like saying like, "Oh, Grandpa said all this bad stuff about that Santa Claus," and like the parents are just like, "What the hell?" Like,
Yeah, and then they see a Santa Claus.
yeah,
And so when the Santa Claus like just kills the dad and like completely like rips the shirt off of the mother and their like boobs are out and stuff, I was like, holy crap. I just remember like I didn't know that the movie was like that hardcore when I first seen it. I know that you've heard us talk about it, so you probably heard us talk about that part.
I
But,
didn't
going
remember.
in blind, I did not expect that the first time that I seen it. And I remember it was just, I was like, oh wow, like I could see why this movie didn't do well in the
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
and I actually own this on DVD. I don't own the Scream Factory Blu-ray, unfortunately, but that is one that I would actually like to get. And I own the Anchor Bay double feature, which I actually forgot to bring. But Technically. Actually, if you guys really want to know, we're using it to hold up the camera right now. And then
Don't
I
make
was
us
like,
sound
oh,
lame.
we're supposed to show this, and then we didn't. And then I was like, forget about it.
We pathetic.
We pathetic. So one cool thing about that Anchor Bay release is that they didn't have the proper elements to restore the footage for all the cut scenes. So it's actually, they have like a lesser quality whenever you watch the movie uncut. So it's like they show the full uncut version, but the quality drops when it's the content that was originally cut.
Yeah.
And I thought that was awesome. I actually really like that because it shows you exactly what was cut out of the movie, which you normally don't see. You normally don't know in a movie. Like, for example, Return of the Living Dead 3, the Vestron release, it's uncut, and there's no way to really know what was cut. Like, if you've seen the movie enough times, you'll know, like, oh, that scene's definitely longer. But, you know, for the most part, I wish there was, like, a special feature on a lot of Blu-rays and stuff that gave you the uncut version, and it, like, put, like, a border around the cut scenes or something, just for fun. Not saying that that's the only version they put on there, just an optional way to see what was actually cut. But did you see how many scenes were actually cut from that original release?
Yeah, it was actually pretty crazy. And it's funny because you could see, like, the colors are so vivid on the, like, normal stuff, and then, like, the cut stuff is just, like, grainy.
It
like,
just looks like a VHS.
It looks like, but yeah, you can definitely, like, I can't imagine what that movie would be like without all that.
Yeah, for sure. And it has some classic scenes. Like, one of my favorite scenes is when the kid gets his head cut off on the sled with the axe. Oh, dude, it just, I laugh every time. It's just like and then, of course, Linnea.
Yeah.
You love Linnea, don't you?
No, fuck a Linnea.
Why do you hate Linnea?
Because it's just her and her boobs and everything.
You hate Linnea.
No, I don't. Like, I'm sure she's a great person. It's just like, you know, I get sick of people talking about her because all she is naked.
You didn't even know who she was.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the other thing. I don't know who she is from movie to movie. I've seen like 3 movies, maybe even 4 with her in it, and like, but like, you have to point out which one is her. She's not one of those faces like.
Yeah, that's Linnea.
No, like Jamie Lee Curtis like has that obvious look about her that like you know that's her, but like Linnea, I just can't. She looks like any white chick to me. So.
Linnea Hater.
No. People are gonna hate me now.
They already do.
No, they love me.
They do. They hate the F out of you.
No, they said hashtag more Calry.
It was Calry.
Fix the Calry. It's so embarrassing.
Anyway, Silent Night, Deadly Night, I think has a lot of cool Christmas atmosphere too. A little bit more than Super Dark Times, which we reviewed yesterday.
Yeah.
And not as much as Gremlins, I would say.
Yeah.
One thing that actually bugs me, and I noticed that you pointed out too, is Billy, as he's dressed as Santa, like axe wielding and killing people, he doesn't pull his beard up over his mouth. So it's like not the full like Santa Claus beard, it's just like the chin part.
Like when I kept seeing
the like, neck part, and it's like kind of annoying.
When I kept seeing like the Scream Factory release that everyone was excited about, like obviously I'd never seen the movie, and I was kind of like, well, that's a stupid cover art. You can see the dude's whole face, and now I see like that's actually how he is in the movie. And I'm just like, I just don't get it. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think maybe like it could have been anything. It could have been even the actor like not wanting to hide his face the whole time. So
yeah, I kind of thought that like
know,
it might be just uncomfortable and stuff like that.
Yeah, but not only that, but like sometimes people like think that like, oh, like if I hide my face the whole time, then it's like what, like I can't really use this as a beneficial thing for my career. You know, I can't, because like it's the same reason why like people don't like hire like Kane Hodder to be like an actor, because he's just like behind the mask type thing. But yeah, I mean, could have been that, could have been that. Naughty. They say that a lot.
They do.
Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night. I think that the movie definitely succeeds with the gore. Like, I feel like if it didn't have all that gore in it, it wouldn't be as...
It would kind of suck.
Yeah, it would be pretty tame. Like, I can't believe how much they cut out of it, actually.
Yeah.
It's so good to have it uncut. I'm curious to know if that Scream Factory version's uncut or not, but yeah. So, anyway, do you want to rate this movie?
Yes.
You go first.
Overall, I mean, like, it's a pretty cool movie. I like how he's just like killing randoms, and my only, like, honestly, the beard not being like all the way up on his face is like my biggest issue with the movie, because like all this time I thought like, oh, it's a Santa killer movie, that's pretty cool, but then like it just looks like a person. Well, it's obviously just a person wearing the beard. So, but overall, I enjoyed it, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Nice. I absolutely love Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I think it's one of the better slashers ever made. Honestly. I am obviously a huge Friday the 13th fanboy. I love my Maniacs, I love my Bloody Valentine, but Silent Night, Deadly Night has grown on me, and I honestly think that it gets better with viewings.
Yeah.
Like, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that was pretty good, but, like, watching it, I think I watched it, because I watched it I think I watched it in 2013 the first time, and then we reviewed it in 2014, but each time I watched it, I think I liked it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I sort of appreciated it like more as like really one of the best Christmas horror films, because there's really not a ton of, especially involving a killer Santa Claus, there's like none that are good. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the Tales from the Crypt episode, All Through the House, is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But like, killer Santa Claus movies are few and far between. But I'm coming in at a solid 8 out of 10.
Are you fake?
Why?
Because I thought you would just have like a rating like right off the bat.
I was trying to remember what I rated it. I think I gave it an 8. I almost wanted to go to 8.5, but
damn.
I feel like that might be a little too high. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'll sit at an 8 right now, but it kind of probably hovers between an 8 and 8.5. But anyway, that's it. I'm JP. That is
Carly.
You can check her link in the description down below to sub to her channel. It is Calry. What was it?
Carly 317.
Okay. Carly 317, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with another review.
Peace.
Deuces.